Hello and good Monday morning to you, my icicle peppermint drops of residual solstice sunbeams. Welcome to Monday and the finale of 2024's weekly reading book reviews by me, Hallie. Yes, my husband didn't know it, but he did buy me this Color Factory mug for Christmas on their Black Friday sale, and I'm so excited because I love it. It's a perfect size, perfect colors. I adore it. Anyway, okay. One tiny bit of housekeeping before I dive into the books I read this week and currently have a bookmark in and what I might read next. Crayon Boxers. You have 2 more days to vote on January's Happy Mail because I'm taking another road trip. And so far, there are 3 options in the poll at patreon.com/halthegal, link in my bio. Yeah. To vote on Happy Mail. So far, leading is the postcard from New York City, bookstore, library, publisher, etc. So let me know. Also, new members, there is a sale through tomorrow night, through the end of the year, through New Year's Eve. Today's New Year's Eve. Anyway, 25% off your first month should you like to join us. We would love to have you along. So sending out welcome packets to those of you who joined this weekend. So thank you so much. My Substack went out, so lots of news and links there also. So link in my bio. Okay, books, yay! Happy New Year's Eve, as mentioned, and coffee cheers to you. And here's what I read this week. The first one I finished, I was just beginning last week when we chatted. This is It's All or Nothing, VALE by Andrea Beatriz Arango. Sorry if I said that wrong. This is a middle grade novel in verse. It comes out in February, so it's just a couple of months. I got an ARC from the publisher. Thank you very much. Very interesting. So she was in a car accident, I think, and she was a championship fencer, and now she can't fence. Like, she has an injury to recover from, and she might not even get up to be the best that she was. And so when she returns to fencing club after a couple months of recovery and physical therapy and stuff, there's a new girl. Feelings are complicated. Is it a crush? Is it friendship? I don't know. But also she loves her because she wants to be her, but she took her place as the champion and it's really hard and friends are shifting and whatever. There were some beautiful lines in here flipping through. You can't see things I highlighted, but I did. And I love that cover. So she's Puerto Rican, so representation and family dynamics, friendship dynamics, first crush dynamics, and really, really thoughtful of if my identity as who I place all my value in is stripped away, who am I now and what am I worth? It's heavy for a kid, but kids have real emotions and they think about these things, as do I, constantly. Okay, the next one I read, totally different. This is The Husbands by Chandler Baker. Okay, if you are currently mad at your partner and or husband, etc., don't read this book because you might end up murdering him. Kind of not exaggerating. She wrote this during the pandemic, and I just want to read you the dedication, which is very telling for the rest of the book. To the millions of women who are struggling to be caregivers, mothers, co-workers, and spouses all at once, and who left the workforce this past year in record numbers at 4 times the rate of men, because women can do anything, but they can't do everything. So this is, I don't even want to give you spoilers, but it's kind of a manifesto for men to help around the house a little more, and that tension between why can't women have careers and men like sigh and moan if they have to take out the garbage or watch the kids for an hour if the wife has a late meeting, right? So it was like, some of the blurbs say it's a page turner. I found it more literary, like intriguing to where you kept turning the pages, but it wasn't like a fast-paced thriller. It was just very thoughtful and no spoilers, but there may or may not. No, anyway, there's yeah. Not gonna say anything because it was fun and surprising. So there's The Husbands by Chandler Baker. Okay, completely different. Again, so quirky. This was Kate McKinnon's middle grade debut, the MILLICENT QUIBB School of Etiquette for Young Ladies of Math Science. So I have so many feelings. Okay, first of all, deckled edges, love it. Illustrated middle grade, love it. If this wasn't written by Kate McKinnon, I don't know that it would have been published. Not that it didn't deserve to be published, but it's so weird that publishers might have had a hard time buying in. But I hope they've learned that we like quirky. So also, I'm totally you know, art business. It's a forever just unreconcilable tangent in our heads as creatives. But green and red, it was Christmas time, so I feel like they chose the cover design so that people who, grown-ups who know who Kate McKinnon is, would buy it for children for Christmas. Am I wrong? I don't know. I make up theories because my head, it spins. Anyway, so enjoyed this. It is, as I mentioned repeatedly, very quirky. There's like giant worms and an etiquette school, and somehow it's set in like 1911, maybe just to avoid current technology. So it's 3 sort of adopted, sort of foster sisters who don't really look like any relation. And they're at an etiquette school, get kicked out for arson for reasons in the first chapter, and then get a mysterious invite from Millicent QUIBB, who is the like mad scientist, kind of like the witch of lore, as it were, of the town, and no one really thinks she exists. She's a bedtime story parents tell their children to make them behave. And so a little bit Benedict Society as far as like using your skills to come together, a little bit STEM for women in science, and a whole lot of weird. So it is a little gruesome. Kids can usually handle gruesome. For example, like when they get shipped off to a different boarding school for reasons I won't mention because spoilers, you know, like one of the kids' observations is like, oh, those spikes could hold a bunch of heads, you know? So it's kind of like maniacal in that way. And there may or may not be prissy dogs being eaten by said giant worm who is loosened from its chamber, but I didn't tell you that because that would be a spoiler. So anyway, it was a lot of fun to read. Shan't take you long. Depending on your kid's temperament, maybe a fun read aloud. I enjoyed it, and yes, signed copy from my indie bookstore. Another thing that Nathan bought me for Christmas that I didn't know till I unwrapped it Christmas morning. Thanks, bud. Okay, currently reading in the midst of coffee shoveling. This is Haruki Murakami's A Wild Sheep Chase. I did read, if you perhaps recall, Novelist as Vocation by Murakami, which was his nonfiction about being an author. And I went to the bookstore. He's got oodles and oodles of backlist. And this was actually his first book as a full-time author. Like, he used to run a jazz bar in Japan, and then he finally found that authorship could be a viable career, and this was his first work as a full-time novelist. Again, so weird, which is why I love it. It's not like it's fast-paced. It's just like, again, thank you to non-Western traditional storytelling for like, oh, this is too coincidental, an editor might say, and it's like, who cares? It's just the way it is. So I love it because it's strange. Wild Sheep Chase is not an exaggeration. There's a mysterious political figure who's in a coma. One of his associates comes and gets the guy, and he's like, you gotta take this photo off of your bulletin from your ad agency, and you gotta find this one sheep in all of Japan. Totally weird. Why I haven't loved Murakami in the past, his fiction, I tried once many years ago, and it was just a little too like, let's say making out is not romantic in these books. It's just like matter of fact and bland, which I guess is either the men's view of such a thing or the Japanese view of such a thing, or just like whatever. But skipping all that, it's not explicit. It's just like there. It was like, anyway, I don't need to talk about that. But it's there, but otherwise, like, there's closed door, but nothing to swoon about. So anyway, Murakami, A Wild Sheep Chase. Literally, we're currently in the Japanese countryside looking for one sheep with a star on its back that may or may not be immortal. That's how random we are. Also, his girlfriend doesn't even have a name. Like, it's just the way it is. But she's an ear model, and he's attracted to her ears. Okay, strange. I love Japanese fiction. Okay, also currently in the midst of a middle grade graphic novel, very colorful. This is Art Club, Dare to Create by Rashad Doucet, who, I read the bio because I always do that. He's a sequential art professor at SCAD, my alma mater. So he's way younger than me, looks like, by the picture. So I didn't know him when I was there. But the art is great. The storytelling, as you may imagine by the subheading blurb there, is about why don't we value arts? Like, if we put as much money and resources into art and creativity and music and skills that we do to math and science and business classes, well, maybe art would be a viable career. Soapbox over, but that's what this book is talking about. So if that makes you angry, here's either more fodder or avoid it if you don't want to get worked up like I just did. Okay, reading next, perhaps. I have had an hankering to reread Howl's Moving Castle. So this is a very old copy that I need to reread. I just do. I remember reading it because obsessed with the Miyazaki movie, of course. I remember there not being enough Howl in it because Christian Bale English voiceover as Howl. Be still my heart. But I'm still gonna read it because it's a perfect movie and I want to read the book, the original. Okay. Also, you may have seen on my Substack or on my blog at halthegal.art, also link in my bio, I'm in 2025 going to go through all of Shakespeare's plays because I haven't read them all, mostly the histories because politics. But the first one in the alphabetical list that I haven't read yet and is missing from my Shakespeare shelf, which I cannot find backwards. Oh, it's over there, off camera. Anyways, All's Well That Ends Well. So picked up with my Barnes & Noble points a Folger Shakespeare Library copy of All's Well That Ends Well. Haven't read it. And then I picked from my TBR, they just keep getting bigger, 4 books of plays, so nice and short, and we'll see if we make through that. Beckett, T.S. Eliot, Noel Coward, and I've never read Madame Butterfly, but I picked this up in LA like 15 years ago. So anyway, at the last bookshop. Okay, that's all. More coffee for me. Hope your day is bright and colorful. I hope you have every excuse to wear sequins today and not just because it's New Year's Eve. And yeah, join the Crayon Box if you're not yet a member. Enjoy that sale for 2 more days. And if you are in the Crayon Box or when you join, please vote so I know what to mail you later this week. Cool? All right. Love you guys. Let me know what books, stories, audio books, shows, TVs, movies, etc. you're enjoying, and we'll talk at you later. Okay. Love you. Happy New Year. Bye.